repeat loop, then forever loop, forever loop. So what is the use of the while loop? What is the purpose of the loops?
22 का सामान ले गया, 20 पहले बाकी था।
It is used for the iteration, right? Suppose I want to print a number from 1 to 100. What comes in logic to write a program? I want to print like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 100. How to do this?
एक बार कह दिया तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
One general way you can do is nothing but you can use the dollar symbol display, correct? Dollar symbol display, correct? Suppose I want to print I is equal to percentage D decimal. I need to assign the value of I. Substituting I is equal to 1, correct? I is equal to 2, up to so on I is equal to 100. How many times of dollar display I should use? 100 times I want to use to print the number of I. What is the value of the I? I is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, up to so on 100. So instead of this, what I can do, instead of printing dollar display 100 times, I can use the what? While loop or a for loop, iterations. Correct. So these loops are used to do the iterations. This is the use of the repeat. Many times you try to use it in your initial block in the. What is the use of that? That is the repeat loop. It is going to iterate fixed number of times. I am repeating 5 times. How many times that will be repeated? 5 times. If I am using repeat of 10, how many times it is repeated? 10 times. Basically, loops are used for iteration purpose. Iteration. So instead of using dollar symbol display for 100 times to print I is equal to 1, 2, so on 100, I can do what I can do. I can use the iteration. Loops are used to do the iteration. Like yesterday we spoke about while loop, correct? What is the syntax of the while loop? What is syntax? Initialization, correct? Then while with what? Condition. You are writing the condition here, means expression. Conditions are written using expressions. Then if it is multiple statement in your while body, so this is nothing but what? While body. Multiple statements are there, you should group with the name. Then I need to increment the value. You are writing the logic according to increment, decrement, how many times you want to increment. So I was asking you to do few programs using while loop, right? Print the prime numbers using while loop. Then if I give a flag where my first one value is present and where my first last value is present, how many number of zeros are there, how many number of ones are there using while loop. You practice that. Okay. Now let us go with the next loop. But what? For loop. For loop. What is the syntax of the for loop is? What is the syntax of the for loop? What is the syntax of the for loop is? In C language, how I am writing in C language? For, correct? For I is equal to 0, initialization. Then I tell to suppose you are writing this is a condition. You are writing what? I plus plus or I minus minus decrement. This is nothing but what? Initialization. Correct? This is nothing but what? Condition are writing using condition. This is nothing but what? Doing increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. Then you are writing the body of this. If there are multiple statements are there, you should group in any variable. Not in C program. You can understand. Verilog, how you can write the syntax for the for loop? For, correct. I is equal to, then your rating condition is what? I is equal to, so let us write I is equal to is a condition. Then I is equal to I plus 1. This is how you can increment or decrement. I is equal to I plus 1. If there are multiple statements here, what we should do? This is a body of the what? This is a body of the for loop to be executed. To be executed. Then if there are multiple statements are there, then we should group it what? Begin and end. So this is syntax for the what? For loop. Now can you write a program using for loop? Print down the numbers from 1 to 100 using for loop. So this is nothing but what? Initialization. This is nothing but what? Condition. This is nothing but we can do increment or decrement. A program to print the numbers from 1 to 100 using for loop. So how to write a program? A regular program to print the numbers from 1 to 100.
इधर दूरबा में ऐसा बन निकला बारिश से कैसा होता है अजी देखिए
Declare the variable in the data. Correct. So let us declare this is what I am using I in my program so that I will use I is declared as an integer. Then what I need to do? There I can write my loops in the procedural block, right? What are the procedural blocks? Begin under R. Your initial is one-time execution, where always is nothing but loop like batch. What is the program I was asking to do? For loop, for what is the syntax of for is? For first initialization, I is equal to 0. So we start with what? Initialization. I is equal to 1. Then colon. Next is what? Semicolon. Then if you are writing the condition, whatever condition is, I is less than or equal to what operator? Less than or equal to what operator? Relational operator. What I need? Increment. I is equal to I plus statements of then go what? Begin and end. So what is the body to be executed? I should write for the body. I, right? So that's what I am using. Statement is this. I need to let us print using decimal. Then what argument I need to pass? I. Then end this. End with the semicolon. Then do I increment here? Already we are incremented here, right? If this condition is true, first it will check I is equal to 1. Now it will check the condition. 1 is less than or equal to 0. The condition is true. Then this body to be executed. Now it takes I is equal to 1. Then I is getting incremented after this first iteration. I is getting incremented. Then I becomes true. The condition is true. Then it will print the dollar symbol display prints the value of I. Then again it will check until this condition is passed. Once it becomes 101, 101 is not less than or equal to 100. So that it is coming out of the for loop. And this true, this statement will be keeping for and for the initial, then for initial block to 1 to 100. So that I will this program. It is printing and first let me restart it, reload it in.
पहले अपने बिहार को सही कर ले। बिहार को सही कर ले, सही कर ले, सही कर ले।
लहान होत का समजा
बस मम्मी
हाँ?
मैं लूँगा दाल कड़ी अच्छी बनी है
कढ़ी में डाल के खाए ना मीठा उठा दे। कढ़ी में अच्छी क्यों नहीं बनी? धनिया सब दे दे।
So your voice is not audible.
Can you kindly check, is it I'm audible now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
If this condition, I modulus of 2 is not is equal to 0, this program prints what numbers? Odd numbers. It is printing all the odd numbers from where to where? 1 to 100, 99. Means 1 to 100 means odd numbers start from where to where? 1 to 99, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Did you understand this program? Suppose I want to print all the numbers which is divisible by 4 and 6. Let us consider the yesterday problem. So how to do? The numbers from 1 to 100 which is divisible by 4 and 6. How to use the for? If I modulus of 4 is equal to 0, so this will print all the numbers which is divisible by what? 4. So these are the numbers which is divisible by 4. Now as well as I need to print a number which is divisible by 6 also. 4 as well as 6. Then what I need to write? What condition I need to write for the logical AND operator, correct? Logical AND operator, again I modulus of 6 is equal to 0. What is the modulus operation? What output will give a modulus? It gives the remainder. If you divide any number with the remainder is 0, those are the numbers which is divisible by what? 6 itself. You don't understand. Now can I run this program to print all which is divisible by 4 as well as 6. 12 is divisible by 4 and 6. 24 is also divisible by 4 and 6. Did you understand this program? Are you understand the syntax of the for, how to use? Now can you ask few more program to do using for loop? Huh? Can you write a program? You can copy this here. So the program is initialize the array. You can take this example. Initialize the array memory. Okay. So initialize all the odd array location. You initialize to 1. For even location, initialize to 0 using for loop. The question is, but let us ask write like this. So write a program to initialize the array. You know how to initialize the array, right? How to initialize the array? Or memory. Okay. In the odd location, initialize the 0. Initialize the 0 and even location, odd location of the array. Odd location of the array, initialize the 0 and even location of the array. Initialize
डाली मैं पहचान लेती हूँ ला एक कॉल पियो ना
initialize the
पिए ना तो दे
1. Initialize the 1. How to do?
मेरे उसे सब खा दिए
Let us create array of 32 bit size. 32. So create a array of 32 bit. 32 bit size. How to create an array of 32 bit size?
ला
Huh?
एक रे में गुड़ के रोटियां खा ले वो
Module, right? Module TB.
हमारा 10 बज गए
How to create an array?
हमारा कौची खा
Let us take right. Array size, okay. Array of 32. Array of 32 with the 1 bit size. Array of 32 with what? Okay. So let us take A of, correct.
देखो ये
Yeah.
वाला काम करो ना
31 down to 0. So by default it will take array of array is 32 bit. With what is the size of this number? One bit size. Now I need to assign or initialize what I need to do. Initialize in the odd location. What I need to initialize? Initialize with the 0. In even location I want to initialize with the 1. Did you understand? Now first you understand that how to print this array. How to print this array? So initial begin, correct? Let us go with the initial begin. Initial begin. Then what I need to do? How to print this array? First let us declaration. Okay, let me declare. Okay, declaration of the array integer. Since I am using this integer in my for loop, so that I am declaring I as an integer. Correct? In the array. How to print the array? Using for loop, right?
देखो मैं आया
So
ग्राफ है
first let us write the for loop. For what I need to write? I is equal to 0. What is the I condition I need to write? Less than or equal to 31 or 32? 31. Then I is nothing but 1. I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1. This is I plus 1. Then begin. Then what I need to do? No, my question is different. My question is initialize the array or memory of what? Array of 32 with 1 bit size. 1 bit size. This is what I am declaring. This is 32. Array with what? 32. With what is the size of this is nothing but scalar 1 bit. Now my question is that in the odd location of the array, what are the odd location of the array is? A of 1, correct? A of 3, A of 5, A of 7. What I need to initialize? 0. For the even location of the array, what are the even location of the arrays? A of 0, A of 2, A of 4, A of 6. For this location, I need to initialize 1. This I was asking you to do using for loop. How to do?
Using this condition, if A of 5 is not equal to 0, A of 5 equals to 1.
Okay, talking about if, okay. If A of 5 mod 2 is equal to 0, okay. You are talking about A of 5 is equal to 1. Then next what I need to do? Else, okay. Else what is the body of this? Nothing but A of I is equal to 0. Then what I need to do? So let me write the begin. Then I am going to end this, right? This ended here, and this else is ended here. Then what I need to do? End the for. Now I want to print this dollar symbol display before foreign or after foreign. In the for loop. Here dollar symbol display what I want to print. A of I is equal to percentage B. And what is the argument I need to pass this? Comma A of I. then in this line, then what I need to do? In the part, then in the initial, then in the body. In the body. Now let us check for the syntax errors. Now in this case, it is printing all 32 A of I is equal to A of I is equal to what it is printing? 0, 1. So what I need to do here? Because this argument I am passing to this. Now in this case, all A of I it is taking as what? Zeros only. Else body only executed it. One thing we need to address. And then it is just printing what? A of I only. And how to print this? A of 1, A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, so on. A of percentage D. You are talking about this is nothing but percentage D. Then this I need to pass what? This argument as I. This is what you are talking about. This I is passing to this argument. Is it true? This is? I want output like A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, up to some A of 31. Is this is correct? The argument which I am passing is. Then how to print A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, 3, so on. Okay, first forget about this. This program, whatever I am writing the program, this is assigning all the location to what? 0. According to this program, now it is executing what body? Else body. That we'll address next. I want to print output like A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3. What formatted specifier string I should write you tell? Is this is correct which I am writing here? This argument is passing to this format specifier. Yes, yes or no? Is this is correct? What is I value is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3, correct decimal. So if I put this 0, this is going to remove this one. This spaces because I am declaring I as an integer, it will take by default 32 bit. Now it is printing, yeah, I don't want to print like this. What? I is equal to percentage D. I want output like what? A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3. Then it is a percentage 0D. Then for this, I am passing this argument is I. Now it is printing A of 0, A of 1, A of 2 up to some what? A of 31. Now we created the array of what? 32 bit. Is it clear? Now you write the logic to this according to what is the program I was asking about here. What is the program I was asking about? In all the even location, what you need to insert or initialize? 1. In odd location, you need to insert 1. 0. Can you see the program how to do this? How to do this? A of I modulus of 2. Okay, I'll give int to this program. Use the 2 for 1 for initializing the 0, 1 for initializing the 1. Use the 2 for. How to do this? I'm giving the int 1 for use for initializing 2 zeros in the odd location. Another for is for initializing the 1 to the given location. Okay, if you do I plus 2. Then do we need this one? You don't need this one, right? Let us remove this. Then this is also not required. Let us remove this. Correct. First, let us initialize in even location what? A of I is equal to 1. Now this is printing A of 0, A of 2, A of 4, A of 6, up to so on A of 30. It is initializing to what? 1. Now what I need to do? How to initialize in the odd location? In odd location, what I need to do? Another
For loop
formula.
I is equal to 1.
Correct? This is nothing but what I need to do. Is it I plus 1?
I is equal to 1, sir. Initialization.
I is equal to?
1.
I is equal to 1. Okay.
Then
Place
0.
2. Then what I need to do here? I is equal to A of I is equal to 0. Now I am going to initializing all the odd location to what? Here it is printing. A of 0 is 0. A of 3 is nothing but 0. A of 5 is equal to 0, 9, 10, so on. Did you understand? How to initialize all the odd location to 1, all the even location to 1, even location to 1 and odd location to zeros. Did you understand this program? Huh? Can you initialize? Here I'm 32 bit with how many, what bit size it is? 1 bit size. I want to initialize this with the 8 bit. Now location random. Random. In the odd location or even location. Up to 1 to 31. Initialize with the 8 bit random value. Okay, let us copy this. I'm going to ask you next to program. The program is write a program to initialize the array memory in all the locations. Let us take all the locations of the array initialize random 8 bit bits to all the locations. How to do? So create an array of 32 of how many bits? 8 bit size. I need to initialize all location to one random value. How to initialize the random value to this? Okay, can you think of this program?
Concatenation you can use, sir.
So
Yes,
I'm going to
random.
remove this, right? Now this will print what? If I'm using I is equal to 0, less than 1, I plus 1, it is printing what? 0 to 31. But I'm not assigning any value. It is printing what? Unknown. Correct, X is nothing but what? Unknown. So you should open up your mind, okay? You should think the logic in such that you try to attempt to make a solution. Understand the logic to do. Clear? Now, if I run this, what is the output I'm going to get? Unknown state. Now, what is my question is? I need to assign the 8 bit random. What I want to do? Okay. What is this, man? Just A of I is equal to what? Dollar symbol random. Struggling to tell this. How many bits? 8 bits. Then what I need to do? This is a 8 bit dollar symbol random I'm using. Then what is the size I'm talking about here? What I need to do here? 7 down to 0. 7 down to 0. Correct? Now it is array of 32. Size of 1. 8 bits. All this array, what I'm doing? I'm initializing the what? Random value. So let me print this also in the binary. Okay, let me print this in the binary. So I'm assigning what? Random value for all the locations of the array. Did you understand this program? Is it clear? So what is the syntax of the
मम्मी
for
तू ये
loop?
वाला काम करा दे
The syntax of the for loop
मैं
is
वो वाला काम करा दूंगा आपके लिए
what keywords are using for the for loop is. For is a one keyword, correct? The keyword for for is used. For the for loop contains how many parts? 3 parts. What are the 3 parts of the for loop is? Initialization, condition, increment or decrement. So first is initialization condition. Next is what?
बता दे
Check to see if the termination condition is true, and then the procedural assignment to change the value of the control variable. So this is the syntax of the for loop. This is nothing but initialization. This is nothing but what? Condition. And this is nothing but what? Increment. In this case, I am doing the increment or decrement. So this is syntax. So count is declared as an integer data type. So initial. So I am printing the count from where to where. What is the output of this program is? 0, count is less than or equal to 128, count is equal to count plus 1. It is printing the numbers from where to where? 0 to 127. 0 to 127. Is it clear? Now can you analyze this program? Same thing, already we have done this. So initially is array memory. So here what I am doing, what is this is nothing but? Tick define is nothing but what? What is tick define? Compiler directive. So what is the use of this tick define? What is this is nothing but? This is nothing but what we call text. Is it parameter? This is nothing but text macro I am creating. What is the text macro name is? Maximum underscore states. So now I am declaring state as what? Integer. What is the size of this is nothing but? These are array we have created. 0, tick, max underscore state minus 1. What is the max underscore state is nothing but 32. This is nothing but 0 to 31. 0 to 31, correct? So in integer array state with the what elements it is? 0 to 31. Then I am using integer I. Now what we are doing, initializing all the R location with what? Zeros. Using what? For. So there are only one statement as there, so that we are not grouping with what? Begin and end. How to understand? This program already I did. Correct? So for I is equal to 0, I is less than 32, I is equal to I plus 2, state of I is equal to what? 0. We are initializing all the even location to what? With the zeros. So this is for what? Initializing all the locations with what? 1. All are the location with the 1. Here even location to 1. Zeros. You don't understand. The use of this for loop is to do what? Iteration. You can do many programs using for and while loop. Okay, wherever you want to do the iteration, you can prefer what? For loop and the while. So these loops are recommended to use in design file or test bench. It is recommended to use in the test bench. You can understand because it is doing the iteration. If you try to use this in the design file, because of this iteration, it is going to create the hardware. Since iteration is there, it is going to replicating the number of flip-flops. Hardware consumes more number of gigs. So that these loops are recommended to use only to the test bench purpose. Okay, only one synthesizable construct in the Verilog. The loop you can use in the design file is nothing but for loop. Okay, forever, repeat, and while is not allowed to do the synthesis. Those are not synthesizable constructs. Only for is allowed. But we recommended to don't use what? Loops, iterations for the design file. Is it clear? What is the syntax of the for loop? How you can use this syntax of the for loop? We don't understand this syntax. Now let us go to the next loop is nothing but what? Repeat loop. What is the keyword we can use for the repeat loop? Repeat keyword. So what is the use of this repeat loop in the Verilog is nothing but it is used for what? Looping operation. The repeat construct executes the loop in what? Fixed number of times. Fixed number of times. So in many times in your test bench, you are using the repeat, correct? So you are writing in your test bench in initial begin, you are writing repeat of I want to repeat for 5 times. Correct. Then if there are multiple statements are there, you can go with what? Begin and end. Inside this, you are writing the statements to the repeats, and then you are ending the repeat. So what this loop will do? Here I am writing. This body of this repeat will be executed how many number of times? 5 times. To run at the fixed number of times, you can prefer the what loop? Repeat. So repeat is used for the fixed number of times execution. This construct is used to execute the loop fixed number of times. A repeat construct cannot be used to what? Used to loop on a general logic expressions. What is mean by this? So this is not used for what? Not used for the writing the conditional statements. Expressions like you are writing if a is less than or equal to 5, or you are writing I is modulus of 2 is equal to 0. Those logical expressions cannot be used to loop. Okay, this repeat is used to do the fixed number of times. So this is a correct way to use the repeat. Repeat of 5 means 5 times it is repeated. Repeat of 10 means 10 times it is repeated. So you can see what is this program we are doing here. So increment and display the count from 0 to 127. How to increment and display the count from 0 to 127 using a repeat loop? So first you declare the count as an integer, correct? Then initialized count is equal to 0. I am repeating how many times? 128 times. Then begin. So if there are multiple statements are there, we can group with the begin and end. So what I am doing here? Display is equal to count is equal to percentage d comma count. Then what I am doing? I am incrementing the count. So this is also used to print the numbers from where to where? 0 to 127. How many times I am repeating this is? 128 times. Did you understand this? Are you clear? How to use the repeat loop? And then the next, there is no more to talk about the repeat loop. So we are using most of the cases in your almost all the test benches. You are trying to use the repeat loop. Correct. You are generating the random value. Then you are putting that for repeating for 5 times, 10 times, number of times, fixed number of times. We are preferring the what? Repeat loop. Now let us go with the next loop is nothing but what? Forever loop. What is this forever loop? What is the use of this forever loop? Repeat loop is going to execute at what? Loop at the fixed number of times, fixed number. Forever loop is nothing but it is continuously executing. So forever, it is something like very similar to your always block. What is always block is? It is a continuous like loop fashion. Whenever your sensitive list triggers, your always block is responding to your sensitive list, right? Suppose you are writing the modeling for the combination logic circuit, you are writing A, R, B, R, C. Inside your always block, those always block statements will be responding whenever A, R, B, R, C, R changes. Whenever event triggers, your always block will be responding to your event. Correct. So forever also, this also is some sort of like always only. Always is nothing but continuous like loop fashion. Here this forever is also, it is a loop does not contain any expression. Loop does not contain any expression. Executes what? Execute forever until the what? It is going to encounter with what? Dollar symbol finish or display statement in its when it is encountered. If it is not encountered with this finish and disable, it is keep executing the forever loop. Did you understand? So this forever loop does not contain any expressions. So what is the use of this forever loop? What is the use of this forever loop? So this can use for the clock generation, correct? So we know that one way to use the clock generation is nothing but one. Using always block. How you are generating the clock is? Always, correct? Time, time for time period, then you are writing what? Clock is equal to not half clock. This is a one way. Again, in the always you can write in different way. Always, correct. Begin, you are writing begin. So clock is equal to 0, you are doing for the what time? Hash by time. Again, clock is equal to 1 for the hash by time. Then you are doing what? N. This is also fine. And this is also fine. Did you understand? This always clock is generating the what? Clock generation. This is also what? Clock generation. Then how to use the forever loop to generating the clock? Where I can use the forever? Initial begin is one time execution, correct? Forever is nothing but it is keep continuing until it is encountering the dollar finish or some disable statements. Then how to write using the forever? Clock generation using forever. So clock generation using forever. Clock generation using forever. How to write this? First, initialize, initial begin, correct. Clock to initialize the clock to what? 0. Then what I need to do? Forever, hash file, clock is equal to not half clock. Not half clock. Then what I'm going to do? In the initial begin. So different way you can generate the clock. One way is nothing but using what? Always block. One way is nothing but one. Using forever. Did you understand? So forever is same as in this one. If I'm going to write like this, what is this is? Forever is also like this. I'm going to initializing I to 0. Then while. What is the condition I'm writing? 1. Begin. Write the statements. Increment the I. End. This is nothing but forever loop. What is the condition while I'm writing this? Always true it is. When always true, what happens? It is keep incrementing. Continuously, this loop will keep continuous. Correct? So there is no logic for this to while condition with the 0. Correct? So that this is nothing but working as a for level loop. It is infinite loop, while loop. Infinite while loop. Did you understand this? So I can say this is same as a what? Your forever loop. Forever also what? Continuously executes. Continuously it is executed. Now what is a forever is nothing but the loop does not contain any expression and execute forever until this dollar symbol finish and disable statement is encounters. So this can be using for what? Clock generation. How to generate the clock is. So I am declaring clock with the range. Initial begin. So I am initializing the clock to what? 0. Now I am using forever. So hash 10 means what period it is going to be. Total time period for this is nothing but hash 10. T on is 10, T off is 10. Then total time period is nothing but 20. So clock is equal to not half clock with the clock period of 20 units. Did you understand this? Forever loop. Forever loop is to executing for continuous execution. So these are the loops which is supported in the Verilog. Is it clear? These loops, while loop, for loop, repeat loop, forever loop. So you can also generate the clock generation, not only using always clock, you can use what? You can use the forever loop. In where? In your initial begin. Your initial begin. So these are the loops which is supported in the Verilog. Okay. So most commonly we used to use these loops in our where? In test benches. Correct. So when you're talking about array, to initialize the value to the array, okay, to do the iteration, So we are going to prefer the respective loops in the Verilog program. Did you understand the syntax of these loops? How to use loops? Okay. Now with this we'll stop the control structures. So control structures, we talked about conditional statements, multi-branching statements, and then we talked about the loops. Now let us go with next topic of this behavioral model is nothing but what is mean by sequential blocking execution and parallel blocking execution. So already we talked about initial blocks and always blocks, right? What is initial block and always block is? Those are procedural statements. The statement inside these procedural statements will be executed how? Sequentially. Is it clear? So what is this sequential blocks and parallel blocks is? The sequential blocks is nothing but initial and always blocks. Where sequential block is, the way it is executing is nothing but line by line execution. Then what is mean by parallel blocks? Name implies parallel blocks means what? It is going to execute the concurrent execution. At the time it is entered, all the statements inside the parallel blocks will be executed what? Concurrently. So this type of modeling are used in complex programs where some of the operations you want to concurrently execute. All blocks should be, your initial block and always blocks will be concurrently executed. Sometimes you need to execute sequentially. So that in that case you can go with what? Sequential blocks and the parallel blocks. First we'll understand what is meant by sequential block. So name implies that sequential block is nothing but what? Sequence of execution, one by one execution. Correct. So the keyword, the sequential blocks, the keyword we are using begin and end, used to group the statement into the what? Sequential blocks. The statement in the sequential blocks are proceeded in order they are what? Specified. The order they are specified with the time, simulation time. So those blocks will be processed the way we are defining in the statements. The statement is executed only after its preceding statement completes the execution. What is meaning of this is not meaning of this is this statement? So the statement is executed only after its what? Preceding statement is completely executed. Means let us take this is my begin and end. This is my begin and end. This is my statement 1. This is my statement 2. This is my statement 3. So when this statement 3 will be executed in the sequential block, the preceding statements. What are the preceding statements for the statement 3? Statement 2 and statement 1. So the preceding the statements completes the execution, then only it is executing what? Statement 3. So this is the way it is going to execute in the sequential blocks. Okay. So the statement is executed only after its preceding statement completes execution. Expect for the what? Non-blocking assignments with the inter-timing control. What is this non-blocking assignments? How non-blocking assignments will be executed? All are concurrently executed, correct? Others, what is intra-assignment timing control is? What is intra-assignment timing control is? Where you are specifying the delay, correct? Right of the what? Right side of the expression. How that will be executed? Intra-assignment timing control. Delays are 3 types. One is regular delay, intra-delay, and then zero delay. So in the regular delay is nothing but you are specifying the simulation time at the left side of your expression. The way it is executed is nothing but sequential it is executed. How this intra-delay timing control will execute it? At time t is equal to 0, all right sides will be executed. But assign will happen only at the what? End of the timestamp. So this statement will be executed only after its preceding statement complete the execution. Expect for what statements? Expect for non-blocking assignment with what? Intra-timing control. Because the way the behaves for the non-blocking is what? Different. Did you understand? So if the delay or event control is specified to your statements, it is relative to the simulation time when the previous statement of the block is completely executed. If you are specifying for your statements with the delay and event, So that execution is depending upon what is the delay you are giving, assigning to the statements or blocks. Let us take one example, we'll understand how sequential block will be executed. So you can look at this example, sequential block. So what we are doing is data type, reg is a data type, x and y variable, and reg 1:0, z, comma w is what? Another two data types with the variable z and w. I am using initial begin. Then what we are writing here? These are the statements. These are statements with what statement is it? Is it nothing but delay of what delay it is? Regular delay, correct? So I am assigning x is equal to 0. Then dash by y is equal to what? 1 take b1. Again dash 10 z is equal to what? Concatenation of x comma y. And hash of 20 is nothing but w is equal to concatenation of y comma x. So this will be executed at what time? These are sequential blocks. This will be executing at what simulation time? Time t is equal to 0. So this has to execute. If this has to execute only when it is executing this. When the preceding statement should be completely executed. When this will be executed, the preceding statement it is completely executed. Now this statement will execute at what time? At time t is equal to 5. Simulation time. At time t is equal to 5, what we are doing? Y is equal to 1. You can understand. Now this will be executing at what time? In a sequential block, when this to be executed, when this will be executed, the third statement. Only when the preceding statement will be completely executed. Correct. So when this will be executed, it is time t is equal to 10 or time t is equal to 50. The sequential blocks. This will be executed at what? At time t is equal to 50. What is the z value then? Concatenation of x and y is nothing but 0, 1. Now here y is equal to, here x is equal to 0. In this case, what is the y is nothing but? Y is equal to 1. What is z value is nothing but? 0, 1. When then this statement will be executed? When all these preceding statements will be completely executed. So this statement will be executed at what time? At time t is equal to 35. Then what is the w value is nothing? 1 and 0. Did you understand the way how the sequential block will be executed? Is it clear? Now we'll see what is how the parallel block will execute. What is meant by parallel blocks? Concurrent statements execution is nothing but parallel block using fork and join concept. What is a fork and join is nothing but, the fork is nothing but, it is a keyword. Keyword, split a single flow into what? Independent flow. Means these statements are, what is the use of fork in, what is the use of the fork? It is used to cut the cake, right? Pieces. Correct. So what this, how this parallel block will be executing is nothing but, using fork you are making this is what? Independent blocks. Independent blocks. Okay. All these are start executing concurrently. All these are start executing the concurrent execution. How you can make the same one, if I am removing this fork and join, this becomes what? Sequential blocks. I am making this is nothing but what block? Parallel block execution using what? Fork and join. Fork and join. Then how this will be executed is, at time t is equal to 0, x becomes what? 0. At time t is equal to 0. And when this will be executed? Concurrent means what? All are what? Parallelly executed. Means this will be executed at what time? At time t is equal to 5, then y becomes what? 1. Then when this will be executed? This will be executed at time 15 or time 10? Time 10. Correct? This is executing at time 10. Then what is the z value is equal to? What is z value is nothing but? X is 0 and y is nothing but 1. At what time this will be executed? This completed simulation time of what? time t
ये
is
मेरे को
equal to
अमूल है
2.
देना तो लीजिए नहीं
Now w will be,
हाँ,
बोला
सही।
what is the w value is?
अरे पहले भी 10 रुपया बाकी था जो दिया ये।
हाँ
Y is nothing but
बहुत
what?
दुखी आदमी है।
X is nothing but what?
दे
0.
दिया है
अच्छा।
ऑर्डर दिया
So
है।
what is this parallel block is nothing but
Share of Bhagirathi.
parallel block specifies by the keywords called it as
छोरा को
what?
लेके तू थे छोरा
Fork
वाला।
and join.
हाँ।
वही कौन सा
What is fork is nothing but it is a keyword
लू थे लू थे
splits a single flow into the what? Independent flow. What is this join is nothing but this join joins the independent flow say back into what? Single flow. So this is my single flow.
ज्यादा है दो तीन
This single flow will be splitted into what? Independent flows. Okay. What this join will do? Join will do opposite of the fork, right? This will going to join the independent flows into what? Single flow. If you are putting the blocks inside the fork and join, all these single statements will be made into what? Independent flow. Using fork. Again, this join will what will do the join? Join will makes the independent flows into what? Single flow. How do you understand this? Using what keyword? Fork and join. So the statements in the parallel blocks are executed
कर
out
लिया बढ़िया से।
concurrently. It is
सरकार ने ले लिया।
concurrently means what?
बैठे रहते हैं, खाते
All
हैं,
are
तो ही याद करते हैं। ऐसा
and they
काम नहीं
executed
करते
at the
तो
same
तेरे
time, parallel
बुद्धि दे,
execution.
लेकिन बुद्धि थोड़ी लेगा तू।
So ordering of the statement is controlled. Suppose here the ordering of the statement will be controlled by what? Delays, right? If there is no delay here,
खाने
All
वक्त
this
भी
will
पढ़ने
be
का याद करते हैं जब भी नौकरी
all are
मिलती है,
executing
नहीं
at time t is equal to 0. Are you understanding? Here the order of the statement is controlled by the delay, or you are writing the event control assigned to the each state. Is it clear? Now I am specifying the delay here. The way this will be executed based upon this
धूप में
delay.
ऊपर जा पढ़े जब तक खोर लो
In previous case, sequentially means what? The delay is getting accumulated.
हाँ चल
Correct?
ऊपर पढ़े जब
The
तक-
delay you are adding, right? 0, then 0 plus 5, 5 plus 10, 15, 15 plus 20 means what? 35. The delays gets what? Getting accumulated. Here delays are what? It is independent. Parallel. Did you understand this? So if the delay or event control is specified, it is related to the time the block was.
ऐसा काम नहीं करते लाइट फाइट
अरे
Now this
चलता
all
ही ये
this
बहुत देर बाद गर्म होता है साला
single flow is made into what? Independent flow.
धूप के से
Correct. This is executing at time t is equal to 0. This is executing at time t is equal to 5. This is at time 10. This is at what? Time.
हाँ जा
Here delays are not getting accumulated. Correct. Using what? Using fork and join. Using fork and join. Now let us run and understand this how this parallel blocks works and sequential blocks works. Let us
कड़ी अच्छी
I
बनाई
have
हुई
a
आपने
program of this.
कड़ी
Let us
अच्छी
copy
बनाई
and so this is the example for what? Sequential block. Sequential block execution. Same program I am copying. You understand this program. So this is the name of the what module. So I am declaring the variable with the regenerated x and y are the what? Scalar, and this is nothing but vector. W and z is 2-bit. Means vector. I am using vector. I am declaring this as a 2-bit. W and z. Now this initial block is for what? Monitoring x value, y value, w value, and z value. Here I am writing what blocks? Sequential blocks. The way they are executing what? This statement will be executed only when the
Plant
preceding
based food
statement
खाना
completely
चाहिए
executes.
प्लांट बेस्ड अभी
This will
अब
be
जिस
executed
हिसाब
only when this
से हो रहा है ना
preceding
दिन पर दिन ये सब
statements
मिलावटी
completely.
चीज बना रहे हैं उस हिसाब से
So at what time this will be
प्लांट
executed?
बेस्ड फूड ही शरीर के लिए सही है
This is 35. These delays are getting accumulated in the sequential execution. Correct? Sequential blocks. You can see this is the execution of this. At time t is equal to 0, x becomes 0. At the same time, what is y, w, z values? X unknown. At time t is equal to 5, what happens? Y is equal to 1. Correct? Let us copy this result. You can see at time t is equal to 5, what happens here? X is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. At time 15, this will be executed at what time? 15. Delays are getting accumulated, sequential blocks. At 15, what happens? Z is equal to concatenation of x comma y. X is 0 and y is 1. This is nothing but 0, 1. Again, this is executed what time? 35. Time 35, what? X is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. Then W is nothing but 1, 0. Z is nothing but what? 0, 1. Then how to make this into the parallel block execution? Using fork and child. So where I can use the fork? Here in shall begin, I am going to write what? Fork. Then what is the use of the fork is? What is it? It is going to split the single flow into what? Independent flow. What join will do? Join will do the independent flows into what? Single flows. Now I am going to use the join. Correct? So what is the output of this? Not time t is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. At time t is equal to 5, y is equal to 1. At time t is equal to what? 10. Then x and y value is nothing but 0, 1. At time t is equal to 20, 1, 0. Okay. So this is the execution. You can see this is how
कहाँ
we
पर?
do this.
अभी दो कर दूंगा.
Did you understand what is the keyword this fork and join? What is the use of this is fork and join? Now can you see the difference between last one and this one? Now this is nothing but what? Parallel block execution. So all are what? Concurrently executed. Is it clear? Now at time t is equal to 0, x is equal to 0, time t is equal to 5, y is equal to 1, time t is equal to 10, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. At time 10, then I am doing the z value. Z is what? 0, 1. At time 20, x is 0, y 1, then w is equal to 1, 0, z is equal to 0, 1. Did you understand? This is a parallel block execution. What happens if I am going to write like this? Now I am going to write the fork here. Then let me remove this. I am going to write the join. Now how this will be executed? At t is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. Correct? At what time this parallel block is executed? At 5, 10. At time 5, y is equal to 1. Then time 10, z is equal to 0. Then when w will be executed? Is it 20 or it is 35 or it is 30? This is executing at 5. This is also concurrently executed at 10. This block will be executed, the end time is nothing but 10. Correct? End time is nothing but 10. Then when this will be executed? 10 plus 20, it is going to execute at what? 30. Now you can see this. This is executed at 30. Correct? Suppose if I am going to write the join here, then now this will be executed. This is same as a sequential block, right? This is executing at time t is equal to 0. Only one statement is there. So then t is equal to 5, this will be executed. So then this block will be executed after this 5, right? 5 means what? 15. Then this is nothing but what? 15 plus 20 means what? 35. This will be executed at what? 35. Did you understand? So I am mixing here both what? Sequential and parallel blocks. So how to make a parallel blocks execution? Using fork and join. What is the fork concept? It is going to split the single flow into what? Independent flow. It is making independent execution, means concurrent execution. What is the join will do? It is combining what? Combining the independent flow into the single flow. Did you understand this example? Is it clear? So this is how the sequential blocks and parallel blocks will be used. So See, where you can use this sequential block and parallel block, that is depending upon your hardware modeling. Okay. So say if you take in any complex design, where you need to do the parallel execution, parallel blocks execution, somewhere you need to the sequential block execution. In that case, all of this is sequential execution. If you want to make that into the parallel execution, you can go with what? Fork function. Is it clear? Are you understand about this sequential blocks and parallel blocks execution? Now let us see this. Already I talked about this nested block. What is meaning by this nested block is nothing but, what is a nested block is? It is a combination of your sequential blocks and what? Parallel block execution. That we call it as a nested block. Now can you understand this program? What is the execution of this program? Same example, reg is xy, and then reg 1 down to 0 is nothing but wz. This initial block you used to monitor. Now we are writing the nested blocks. Initial begin, this is executing at what time? T is equal to 0. This is executing at what time? This is executing at what time? T is equal to 10. This is executing at what time? T is equal to 30. So I'm using sequential as well as what? Parallel block execution. This we call it as what? Nested blocks. I'm nesting the both what? Sequential and parallel blocks. You don't understand. This is a nested block. And then one more is nothing but named block and the disabled block. Named block and the disabled block. I said yesterday, like when you talk about the loops does not support the keywords like continue and the break. What is the use of continue and break in the loops is nothing but break is used to terminating the loop and then coming out of the loop. Continue keyword in other programming language used to skip the particular iteration. You're writing the iteration, you need to skip it. You can't directly do using continue and the break in the very long. So how you can disabling the block is nothing but using disabling the block. Means you are writing the for loop for 0 to 100. 0 to 100 for loop. You bring the number 1 to 100. Now I want to stop the iteration at 50. What I can do? I can go with what? Disabling of the block. Using disabling of the block. Okay, let us understand this program first. Now this is a program what we done is, yesterday we spoke about the while loop. So I have given the flag of 16 bits, right? 16 bit where we are finding out in what? The first one value is present. Same example I'm taking. So this is a flag with what? 16 bit flag. And this is an integer I am using. And this is a module name is nothing but find the true bit. Means 1. True means 1. This is a module name I am writing. And this is nothing but initial begin. What is this nothing but flag is equal to? We are assigning the 16 bit to the flag. And this is initially I is equal to 0. Then I am going with what? Naming the block. Naming the block. How to naming the block is nothing but begin. Then I am writing colon block 1. Begin colon block 1. Now I am writing the condition. While I is less than or equal to 16. Again begin. If flag of I is equal to I, begin, what I am doing? Display the true bit at the number. True bit at the number. When this becomes 1 only, I am doing this condition of the what? If statement. You to understand. So I am printing this. Once I am printing the true bit, then what I am doing? I am disabling the block. So using what keyword? Disable the block 1. Now it is disabling the block, and once you do this, it is coming to here, this end. If it is not disabling, if it is start finding the true bit, what happens? Again, this keep doing the iteration of this value. The purpose of this named block and disabling block is used to disable the iteration. So once you find out the true bit, I am disabling this block. So this concept we call it as a named block and the disabled.